thought I already resigned.
It sounds like, yeah, that's
Well, he has, but I thought he was gonna finish out his term.
not gonna do that. I honestly think they're right.
Yeah.
And he's lost. He can't find out this. That's good. I still want to think about that. Let me show you, show you on the maps. I'm sure he went out there, he had a dog. Crazy. They haven't left by anybody else.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, because I wrote the letter, you should have got a copy of it. Asking them to move you to Rob's spot.
Okay, yeah.
Since yours expired.
Yes, yes.
So, and I just sent these today.
We're been on the attorney, you might know that.
Wednesday's done a good job. Vetting a couple.
Okay.
And they put the bug in commission years.
Okay, okay.
So,
I didn't even know.
So hopefully it'll work out.
Expecting one.
No, I didn't either.
Yes, I'll find out. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
My cousin. Well, my wife's cousin.
Go ahead and get started. The November 5th, Simple Technical Planning Committee meeting. Start with introductions. Start with Mark and go clockwise.
Mark Phillips, Cape Special.
Ryan Shrimplin, City of Cape Girardeau.
Alice McRoy, Simple Staff.
Andrew Stewart, City of Cape. Cape Girardeau, City of Cape.
Cape County Transit.
Drew Christian, SEMO RPC.
James Culver, KLG.
And online, we have Jim Gribbing with Boot Hill Regional Planning Commission and Cecily Cochran with Federal Highway. Welcome, everyone.
Good morning, everybody.
I still think.
Good morning. Okay, do I have a motion to adopt the agenda? Do you have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay, agenda's adopted. I've got a motion to approve the minutes of the October 1st, 2025 meeting.
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Minutes are approved. No communications. Do we have any public comments? Items not on the agenda.
There's somebody new that just came in with the camo on.
Where? We don't even recognize them anymore. Too long. Speaks. Fine. All right. With no public comments, we'll move into our new and unfinished business. We will start with the Metropolitan Transportation Plan update.
All right, so you guys should have a progress report from our consultants. It's stapled through 2 pages. It's a CBB on top. As a quick recap, during the month of October, we hosted another 2 public open houses. One on the 29th in Cape and one on the 30th in Jackson. And as a refresher, we also had held 2 public open houses back in July, the 21st and 22nd. Open houses were fairly well participated and attended in. Going forward, our consultants this month will continue working on task 4, which is a 2050 transportation system needs assessment. But also during this month, they'll be transitioning to task 5, which is the development of the financial plan. And on the first page of your progress report, you can see all the bullets of all the tasks or subtasks within task 5.
Where are they on the forecasting, the modeling and the forecasting?
That's
Was that part of the public meeting?
modeling forecasting for the transportation individual projects.
Yeah, and that's part of the MTP, right? It's the,
That's under the financial.
oh, okay,
Yeah.
that's a task five.
Yeah. So they'll be transitioning the task 5 as they complete task 4 this month. And then, currently they anticipate providing us a draft in December. So next month, they should have a draft at some point ready for the planning committee to review. Just as a quick note, with this project, we do have until April 2026 to complete the final draft and have our board adopted. So we're still making good time on the project. Any questions on the MTP? I know both Cape and Jackson were working on getting updated, both fiscally constrained and illustrative lists. There were a lot of eyes on it during the open house from staff members, so they should be able to coordinate, get all those included this month. But if you think of additional projects that may be a good candidate for the illustrative list, please get with me or you can contact our consultants directly. But we want to make sure those are in there because it goes a long way when you identify a project in the future that it be reflected in the MTP, either fiscally constrained or illustrative. It helps with any type of grant application that you're going to go after. Think ahead.
Okay, any questions or comments on the MTP update? Homes to transit system planning.
All right. For context, we issued a RFP back in September. It was September 16th. We had a due date for all proposals on October 15th. So we allowed 4 weeks for the consultants' preparation and issuing their responses / proposals. The purpose of the study again is to evaluate the feasibility of fixed route transit services between 2 employment locations within our planning area. The first being the Nash Road corridor, which is a growing industrial and employment hub. And then also the city of Jackson, which is regional employment center and residential community. From the solicitation, we received 8 proposals. I thought all 8 were qualified to be able to conduct the project, but one of them stood out between both myself and Ms. Smith, who reviewed each proposal. And after our review, we are ready to recommend Olson for the transit system planning study. A quick recap of some of the recent projects that they've done related to transit. They did a Springfield, Missouri Connect SGF transit optimization study. They have done a Columbia, Missouri comprehensive transit study. They also did a Kansas City, Missouri KACTA route restoration and transit planning. And they also conducted a Northwest Arkansas bus stop enhancement plan. Simbo also has experience with Olson. They conducted our electric vehicle readiness plan, which I thought they performed very well conducting that study. That was one where we had to issue the RFP twice because it was somewhat novel for a lot of firms in our area. And we didn't get any proposals the first time. So Olson on the second round contacted us and decided to put in for it. And I thought they did a good job. So we're recommending to the planning committee, Olson, and we're asking if planning committee is in agreement with us and if they'd like to make that recommendation to the board in their November meeting. Questions on the transit RFP? And I do have Olson's proposal as a handout that you should be able to follow through.
So are you looking for a motion?
Yes, we would entertain a motion if you're willing to support our recommendation.
I think if you two have vetted it, I don't know that I need to vet it. I mean, she knows your needs more than I do.
That was
So-
kind of our approach. A
Yeah.
lot of times we'll create subcommittees, but this was very specific to one service provider. So we thought with Jenny's subject matter expertise and my willingness to read through them, we've come up with a pretty good suggestion.
I'll make that motion that we recommend Olson.
Do we have a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Next is the multimodal freight.
So this RFQ was issued on September 17th, one day later than our transit study. All proposals were due Friday, October 24th. So we've had a little over a week to review the proposals. Again, this is being championed by the SEMO Regional Planning Commission. From the solicitation, we received 6 proposals. I was able to thumb through a majority of them. All of them seemed very highly qualified. I was very impressed with the consultants they were able to attract with the RFP they put together. And after reviewing the consultants, CMRPC identified 2 that really rose to the top from all the proposals. And at this point, I'll hand it over to Drew, but I will refer you to 2 different handouts. You have both Lockmuir Group and Jack Fawcett Analytics proposals. And then you have this 2-page stapled analysis provided by CMO RPC on those 2 proposals, providing pros and cons of both consultants.
So the 2-page handout just kind of summarizes what the similarities are between the 2 proposals and then what the differences are. Jeremy and I scored these independently, and then we sat down and discussed it, and I had Lockmuir and JFA as being tied. I think Jeremy's were close to being tied as well. They did seem to be by far the 2 best proposals. Personally, the differences seem pretty minor. Of course, the MPO and some of the local jurisdictions have quite a bit of familiarity with Lockmuir, which I suspect is a pro in their favor from what I've heard about the work they've done for the MPO and for the cities. Jack Fawcett is partnering with GFT for their proposal, and GFT is wrapping up the state's freight plan. So it appears that they have plenty of capacity to take on our project as well. I could see that could be a benefit, that, they've just done a whole statewide analysis. Both proposals note that the budget for this project doesn't allow them to go out and purchase a lot of proprietary data, that they'll mainly be relying on publicly available, especially like federal data. But BFP does note that if they have data from the state's plan that is applicable to our plan, that they can leverage that data. So I think that could be a positive in that direction. Alex, I don't know if you had a preference on one over the other or not.
Yeah, my main takeaways from both, and then again, I don't think we could go wrong with either firm. I think both of them would do a great job. These were the 2 proposals that I read in their entirety. The other ones, because SEMO did a lot of the vetting, acknowledged that these 2 were, ranked a good bit higher in their scales than the others. So I read through these. Jack Fawcett seems like more of an industry leader. They have a lot of subject matter expertise specific to freight. They built their team around that. And Lockmuir, while they do have a lot of expertise, aren't necessarily noted as industry leading. But they put together a proposal that showed in my opinion, have absolute confidence in them to be able to conduct it, and we're very familiar with them. Jack Fawcett, forget where they were based out of, but their proposal read as in, because they have a broad team, they'll be doing a lot more probably hybrid communications, like virtual teleconferences, and probably a lot of their presentations to us will be virtual. And Lockmuir has a lot more of a personal presence here when they get projects with us. So to me, it's kind of down to, do you take some of the downfalls and come with Jack Fawcett, given some of the bifurcation with face-to-face communication, but accept their advantage with some of the industry-leading subject matter knowledge. For example, they have Cheryl Ball from MoDOT as part of their team. They had an individual from Federal Highway who used to work for Federal Highway, Jack Rust, I think it's FRUST, who was an innovation and technology leader for Federal Highway for quite some time. So they have very good resumes in their proposal. And they were one, I might not do this again. We limited it to 30 pages, and then I got some random email from what turned out to be Jack Fawcett, and they said, do resumes count as your page count? I said, no, we won't. So they put, 30-page proposal, and then they had like 25 pages of resumes in there. Good Lord.
Can I have some thoughts on it. Were you able to engage any of our freight experts in this conversation, like Carrie or anybody else who deals with freight on a regular basis?
We have not yet.
I would suggest to the group, I think in the transit study, we had the expert in the room on it. I would suggest to the group, I think it's okay to narrow it. You guys explored it, you've narrowed it. I think we should delay a decision until some of our freight experts had a chance to think about it. We can get it to Procter & Gamble as a freight expert in the region that could help us kind of look at it.
Yeah,
Would be my
that's
suggestion.
my thing is, particularly on this study, we need to do a deep dive, not in vetting the proposals, the actual project. We need to do a deep dive with our freight players, because we really haven't, I think in my opinion, been able to do that the time we've been in it, other than or like that here before, but particularly you said major employers that have a lot of trucking would have it.
I would say,
I don't know if we've really been able to get, so I'm hoping that through this project, we can really kind of bring them to the table or go to them and actually get some good insight that supplements the data.
Yeah, and I'd be happy, I don't think we have to go too deep today as we make a decision on the proposal, right? But I think if we delay for a couple weeks and got them to at least review, hey, here are the two we're looking at. I'm happy to lead that up and get a few freight experts to give us their opinions on it. And because also I think when we select a proposal, and I've had experience with this, want to make sure that what we're signing on to is exactly what we want. And this may be close, or they may be the best candidate, but they may not be proposing to do the things we need them to do. So I want to make sure we have that exactly nailed down before we sign on.
And if we're doing an additional review of the proposals, one thing to think about is evaluating each firm's ability to actually go out and make contacts with a lot of our freight providers around the area. Some people on paper are really good with data and analytics, but when it comes to reaching out and networking with people and getting the information you actually need for the study, that might not be
That's why they
their
partner with
expertise.
TPC.
Right. And that outreach.
Is there a timeline we need to be cognizant of as we're thinking about getting this approved and next steps to get it finished?
So since this isn't a federally required or a state required planning document, we don't have a specific deadline.
Okay.
We normally like to keep planning initiatives within a planning year, but it's not an issue.
Yeah, so I'd recommend we delay this one either till the full central meeting or until next month's meeting and bring back some feedback from a few of our great partners.
We have today's date. We have our board meeting on the 19th.
I think we get feedback by then. If you want to just do the full board meeting, you don't need to go through the technical committee, but whatever you recommend.
Well, the technical committee is okay with saying, we'll go through this process and then support whatever recommendation comes of that. And if we're able to hit the board meeting with that, then as long as we have the planning committee is okay, we can take the recommendation forward.
Do you need a motion to
Yeah.
say what you
I'm
just
fine with
said?
that.
Yeah.
Said both of them have pros and cons, so.
I agree.
So we'll make a
Maybe we can
motion.
get some insight from the trade players to kind of help sway one way or another. Both of these, you know, of course, they do that a lot with these proposals. They list about 20 people, you know, and of course, when you're thinking in terms of budget, as long as they can stay within their budget, this is a not to exceed amount, right? So
Yes, I will say,
the more people they have touching it, if it's rate based.
this may be the deciding factor. Jack Fawcett is $400 less.
I saw that.
Sorry. There you go. Yeah, Lockmuller was at the 90 and Jack Fawcett was 89, 949 or so.
I think it also makes sense, and I don't know how much you could gauge, but considering that one of the individuals with Lockmuller is a former city manager in Cape, that we should at least give the city the opportunity to weigh in on whether they have any concerns about that or not. I suspect they don't, but if they haven't had that opportunity, it would make sense to have that too.
So we would entertain a motion then to allow the planning committee additional time to vet the two top ranked candidates and provide a recommendation either before the board meeting or recommendation for the December meeting.
Yeah, I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Is we got a letter of support for land and water conservation fund application by the city of Jackson for a Hubble Creek recreation project.
Yeah, this is just an FYI. Jackson came to me asking for a simple resolution for their application to Department of Natural Resources for phase 3 of their Hubble Creek. Due to the timing of the application, the board wouldn't have time to pass the resolution before his deadline, so I just went ahead and issued a letter of support. So they're applying for land and water conservation funds for phase 3, which would extend Hubble Creek approximately 1.25 miles connecting West Jackson Boulevard to the city's soccer complex. Jackson already completed the design using ARPA funds, American Rescue Plan Act funds, and now they're looking for construction grant funds through the land and water conservation. Just a heads up.
Okay. Takes us to number one reports. JP's here, so we can do the update on the city paper.
The big one we got right now is Lexington. It's just about done. They've got everything from Perryville complete. So for the striping, they should be done west of Perryville by Thanksgiving. So we'll get that one. South Spring Street, we have everything reconstructed and paved up to Linden. It's running pretty smooth, and they are continuing water main construction north. I think they have maybe 1 or 2 blocks of water main done. They'll be able to jump in and get the rest of that reconstructed. Hopefully, we'll see if we can still pave this year. Has to wait till the spring. Our maintenance projects, the concrete street repair, Poppy should be back in as early as next week to continue over on Themis. They've got Themis, Jan, and Minnesota to finish up, be done for the year. Our asphalt overlay, we finished the initial project. We had some extra funds and some extra projects jumped up that we have attached to this project. They are back in town working. I think they've just about completely wrapped up with everything they got coming. I believe since last month, we have finished up Perryville. I don't know if it was quite opened up last month, but it is now. Perryville is open and we're working on closing that project out. We've got acquisitions going for the Cape Rock sidewalk or TAP project. Acquisitions are underway. Working on our tree removal project separately to get those out of the way for spring construction. Our trail projects, Apex paving was awarded the Crow Trail They will not begin work until the spring. That's all I got. Thank you.
What is here? County takes us to Mark.
We're finishing up our County Road 635 bridge replacement project, with Pendle Construction. They're routing joints between the beams as we speak. We'll be waiting on the asphalt. I think paving pros is the sub on that. As soon as they get there, we'll probably have it open. I would anticipate by next week. Other than that, routine maintenance.
Jenny, CTA.
Ridership continues to grow and we have more vehicles that were delivered last week. So I'm sure I will.
Report carried.
We're about 60 to 70% done with the earthwork project and sub ballast placement. Strong's coming along really well on it, with the hiccup the last few weeks with the rains that we've had, being the only one. We're getting ready to advertise hopefully next week if MoDOT gets back to me with a letter that I can advertise on our track project. So
Report, JoJo.
Taxiway Delta project, taxiway Delta is open, so back to normal flight operations. Waiting for the shutdown, but hopefully did get a memo from DOT that they have monies for our EAS flights until the end of November. So that goes along.
Some RBC group.
Well, we've been working through the rate study proposals and then also working on the transportation improvement program update. I expect by next TPC meeting, I will have finished reaching out to the local jurisdictions on their financial data.
Like new software.
Yeah, it's still working on getting the GIS data mapped in the system, but I think we'll be able to get that figured out, and once we do, it'll be relatively easy to get the location data in.
Okay, that takes us to the Boot Hill RPC. Jared, are you still on?
I am. Thanks for having us. Good to see y'all. Hey, we don't have really a lot going since our last meeting. We're still in a holding pattern on our Safe Roads and Streets from All. It was awarded back in August of 24. We're still waiting to get our contract signed and completed so that we can get started on that project. We're looking forward to getting started on it. It's just a matter of getting everything done. We have finished up our active transportation plan with the city of Hayti. We will be starting on the city of Campbell on next week, next Thursday. Drew and I will be in Poplar Bluff, I believe, to get those new communities started on that program. And that about sums it up for us here at the BRPC on the transportation end. Thanks for having us.
Thank you. Steve already, Shed.
Nothing on my.
MoDOT, who would start? Oh, Mike.
So I have Corbin's update. Corbin is out for the next several weeks on paternity leave. So for the Emerson Bridge, crews are still working on the overlay on the westbound side of the bridge. Are roughly 75% completed. There were some issues with expansion joints and they're working on a solution for that. Traffic should be switched back to normal in a few weeks. Route 72, the paving is complete and the contracting crews are working on signal loop detectors. Still night work through the month of November. The diversion channel bridge on Highway 25, just outside of the MPO area, that work is complete. We have a big CCTV contract that we put together a couple of years ago, and that's involved several several cities around the area, around the district. I guess we had two of them actually. And so the crews will be installing CCTV poles around the Cape and Jackson area this month. So you may see that work. And then the drainage project through the city of Cape. The majority of that is complete. Crews will be installing some pipes near the dirt cheap here on the south side of the city. And they need to do some sodding and some work in a couple different areas. And that was Corbin's update. Mike, I don't have anything.
Takes us to IDOT. Tom,
Yeah, I finally made it. Drew, you mentioned, was that the Echo Interactive that you were saying you were getting along well with?
Yes.
Well, that was one of the questions I had, that, because a number of folks, East West Gateway and a number of other MPOs at Illinois side are initiating that effort. And I've been promoting that folks in Cape Girardeau have been working with it for now a year and a half, 2 years. But I was hoping that things were going well for you. Is there any particular, be it MoDOT or Drew, any bits of advice or anything that you might tell other people that if you were to go through it again, you might do differently or something?
They stay on them. They went through a merger when we
Yeah.
first started, so we kind of lost our contacts for a little bit. So there's a little bit of a lapse in communication as they merge companies.
Yeah, the product has been good. The support went through a rough patch when they merged. But if it can be difficult, I think sometimes, but if you can, if the MPOs can get a demo of the software, it probably won't be their projects in the system, but if they can just, get a demo of some generic data, add some projects, generate some reports, and just kind of get a feel for how it works. That would be my suggestion, just from my side of it.
Okay, yeah. I think they're meeting weekly now in trying to get things developed. But I can appreciate the communication challenge that you had. So I'll pass that along. I have nothing else to add.
thank you, Tom. I think you're last, Cecily.
Can you all hear me?
Yes.
Sorry, I'm having a little bit of technical difficulties. I have nothing to report today, but I believe by the next meeting, we probably will have some upcoming webinars. Usually at the end of the year, there's a highway information seminar. And I normally pass the link on to all of the MPOs so that everybody can kind of tune in when they can. It's completely free. And usually FHWA offers sessions to talk about like where some of the funding has been going and how your tax dollars are being spent for the services that we provide for USDOT. So I should have that link probably in about a couple of weeks. I haven't heard anything to say it'll be delayed this year. So as soon as I get it, I'll pass it along.
That sounds great. Thank you. All right, step report.
Nothing additional.
Any other business communication today? If not, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved. Second.
All in favor? Adjourn. Thank you.
Thank you all.
Bye, Tom.
Call the boss. So, call boss. Email boss.
Yeah, I got you.